Dear students, welcome back. In the previous lecture, we have discussed that East India Company has arrived in India. They have started setting up factories, forts in India. Now, the company has got jamidari rights over 3 villages, and the company is still trying to get more concessions and manipulate the existing privileges. This led to conflict between company and the Nawab. Bengal was one of the most prominent province at that time. Three rulers ruled over there: Murshid Quli Khan, his successor Ali Vardi Khan, and Nawab Sirajuddaulah. Three of them were very powerful and they have asserted autonomy as other regional kingdoms have. In early 18th century, the conflict between the company and Nawab of Bengal increased manifolds because the Nawabs refused to grant the company any more concessions. They demanded large tributes for the company's right to trade. They also denied it any right to mint coins. They stopped the company from extending its fortification because they claimed that the company was depriving the Bengal government of the huge amounts of revenue and undermining the authority of Nawab. On the other hand, company refused to pay taxes, start writing disrespectful letters, and tried various ways to humiliate the Nawab and his officials. This conflict led to confrontation and finally ended in the famous Battle of Plassey. Let's know more about Battle of Plassey. After death of Ali Vardi Khan in 1756, Sirajuddaulah became Nawab of Bengal. The company was worried about his power and keen on puppet rulers who would willingly give more concessions and privileges to the company. Company tried their best to get concessions, but Nawab denied all their demands and concessions. Robert Clive started negotiations but failed. Ultimately, the Battle of Plassey took place in 1757 between Nawab Sirajuddaulah and company. But Robert Clive managed to get the support of Mir Jafar, who was one of the powerful commanders of Sirajuddaulah. Mir Jafar never fought for Sirajuddaulah. So, Sirajuddaulah lost the battle and the company won the Battle of Plassey. It is very important in our history because it was first major victory of British in India. Now, what happened after Battle of Plassey? As Robert Clive has promised to Mir Jafar, they made him Nawab of Bengal. Still, the company was not willing to take over the responsibility of administration. The main objective of company was expansion of trade. And it can be possible when they get more concessions and privileges. But they realized that the puppet Nawabs were not always as helpful as they thought because the Nawabs have to maintain their basic dignity and if they want respect from their subjects. Now, Company was in dilemma. Mir Jafar protested the company. The company deposed him and installed Mir Qasim in his place. When Mir Qasim complained, he in turn was defeated in the Battle of Buxar in 1764. And after Mir Qasim, Mir Jafar again became the Nawab of Bengal. Mir Qasim died in 1765. Now, something special happened in 1765, which is quite important from the viewpoint of the company, because the Mughal emperor appointed the company as Diwan of province of Bengal in 1765. In simple terms, we may say that now company can use the vast revenue resources of Bengal. Earlier, for trade, the company import silver and gold from Britain to buy goods in India, because at that time Britain had no goods to sell in India. The outflow of gold from Britain slowed down after Battle of Plassey, but entirely stopped after they get Diwani rights over the provinces of Bengal. Now, company start getting revenues from India, which it used to finance company expenses, to purchase cotton and silk textiles, to maintain company troops, to maintain the cost of building of forts and offices at Calcutta. Now, the company officials become Nawab. After the Battle of Plassey, the actual Nawabs of Bengal were forced to give land and vast sums of money as personal gifts to company officials, and they start living flashy lives and start flaunting their riches. Now, next is expansion of British Empire. If we analyze the process of annexation of Indian states by East India Company from 1757 to 1857, we will come to know about certain key aspects: that company never launched a direct military attack. British adopted many ways, political, diplomatic, to extend their empire. One of their ways was Subsidiary Alliance. Let's discuss Subsidiary Alliance once again. According to this alliance, Indian rulers were not allowed to have their independent army. Instead of that, company will provide them protection, but in turn, the rulers have to pay for it. If any Indian ruler failed to make the payment for subsidiary forces, then part of their territory was taken away as penalty. For example, when Richard Wellesley was Governor General of India, the Nawab of Awadh was forced to give half of his territory to the company in 1801 under this alliance. Similarly, Hyderabad was also forced to give some part of his territories on the similar grounds. Now, let's read about Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan was known as Tiger of Mysore. Mysore had grown in strength under the leadership of powerful rulers like Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan. Hyder Ali ruled from 1761 to 1782 and Tipu Sultan ruled from 1782 to 1799. Mysore controlled the profitable trade of Malabar coast, where the company purchased pepper and cardamom. In 1785, Tipu Sultan stopped the export of sandalwood, pepper, cardamom through the ports of his kingdom and disallowed the local merchants from trading with the company. He established close relationship with French and with help of French soldiers he modernized his army. The British were very angry with this behavior of Tipu